to help people.
I see.
I myself, as the clerk, I am not allowed to give any legal advice, but we try now to put people in the right direction.
That's right.
And that's been rewarding in a lot of different ways.
I'm sure it has, but it sort of sounds like this has become job one. I mean, when I ask you the question, it's challenging. I mean, I didn't know really how you're going to answer it, but are you basically stipulating here right now in your life as clerk, foreclosures are at the top of the list?
They are.
In all those 42 years that you have been associated with that office, you never seen anything like this?
I have not, but also, John, I think what you have to realize is because I'm so much in touch with domestic relations, with the divorces and dissolutions and the felony cases that are being filed, unfortunately, when we go of hard times, people will file for divorce. Sometimes crimes are committed that people wouldn't necessarily do.
Sure.
This is a hard time for a lot of people. The unemployment in my county has been unbelievable to me of what's going on. And so what I'm seeing, I think, now is people that have been on unemployment and now that is stopped for them.
So now the foreclosure is coming.
Right, and it really goes full circle. I think the emotions of the court, we can all see this. I know that Judge Kovac's office and myself have been very busy with the divorces and dissolutions. All of those are up. Everything is up.
She was on our show as well, and she said exactly that.
Right.
And and that I see you have some figures at hand here. You've sort of whet my appetite here, even though I don't think it's good news. But we're at 212 now, going into 10. Going back a year, we were at, on the year,
1,160 foreclosure cases filed.
And that's for 2009. To give us some comparison, Kathy, though, I mean, did we see a spike somewhere here?
I had remarked about this to other people in my county starting right about 2000. I could see that there were problems starting to exist. And in 2000, we did 337.
That's a long ways away from where we are now.
Right. Then we jumped to 2005 and we did 624. Each year it has escalated. 2007 was 856, 2008, 960.
My gosh, this is probably taking half of the dockets now.
Well, just with the paper that is coming in and out of the courthouse, it creates a storage problem. You know, I have to have those files access to the judges and things. I can say that in 2008 that we went to imaging on a website, and that has been very helpful to the public.
We use it in our office all the time.
And that has saved probably thousands of phone calls coming in and out of my office on a yearly basis. The attorneys or the public can access the record, print it off themselves. So that has been very helpful. I don't know really, John, where we would be today if I didn't have some of that technology we have. So we were very fortunate. My staff and I developed that system in-house. It's working very well for us.
That's great. That is good news. The issue that you're raising, though, is troubling. Do you see relief in sight? I mean, 2010, I think, is probably going to break 2009.
For the people in my county, I surely hope that there is a light at the end of this tunnel. I'm reading the newspaper just like everyone else, saying that it is going to slow down. I do not see that today, but I'm hoping maybe by the end of 2010 that our average here is not here anymore.
Yeah. Well, if it would at least, I mean, if I were to have you back here in a year and we were having the same conversation, and you can say, well, it's stabilized, I mean, that would be probably pretty good news, because the numbers that you're reading off to me, I see you've made a nice chart there, right. It's exponential. I mean, it's just growing at a phenomenal rate. The next question I had for you, Kathy, I think you've answered, has a slow economy impacted on those areas, and obviously foreclosures would be. Anything else you're seeing in your office that the slower economy has impacted upon that you would notice?
Well, I can't really, as I said before, with the divorces and dissolutions, the felony cases, we're talking felonies now here, writing bad checks, my auto title departments, we've slowed down there as far as people buying motor vehicles. So a lot of that, it's gone full circle. I think in every one of my offices, we can see different things happening.
Sure.
And we're only in hopes that the economy does get better for people in my county.
So we know you're handling a phenomenal number of not only foreclosures, but the felonies and things you've mentioned. But what about your compatriots?
Once again, all of us are very much involved with this, and I can only tell the public that they should be so very proud of the elected officials that they have in office, because we work well together. And in order for all of this to work, for people to be able to save their homes, to do all of this, the judge's responsibility in all of this, we don't really see each other too often because we are very busy. And the last thing that they want to do is have to take time off for meetings and things. But when they're necessary, we have all come to the table and worked well together. That's what makes this work. As I said, I mean, I as the clerk, I work very well with the electeds.
But when you think about it, though, Kathy, okay, a lawsuit, a foreclosure, is filed starting with you.
Yes.
And like any lawsuit, you turn up at the clerk's office. I think there's a fee for it. It's $150 or
$300.
It's $300. Okay. For a foreclosure, it's $300.
Right.
And some of these, you're unlike local attorneys like me, are just walking into the courthouse. Some of these are coming to you via mail.
Right.
And because they're from faraway places, as you said, they're not necessarily all our local banks. Okay, so your office starts the process, but it's just going to move upstairs to the two common pleas judges and their staffs, which we're told, as I said, Judge Kimbler indicated that he did remark it's taking, well, I can't remember exactly what he said, but I think he threw out the 40% now that's coming back to me, and I remarked then as a judge, that's an awful lot of cases, but I don't think those numbers were nearly as high. And we're talking about maybe a year ago that well, it was a year ago. It was a year ago, maybe in January, or maybe even December, but it doesn't, I guess that's the point. But aside from the judge, his staffs, the sheriff eventually is going to have to, I mean, if the worst happens, the sheriff's going to have to sell that house, right?
Sure.
Okay, and there's a process there of appraisal, bids. We have a lot of man hours involved in a foreclosure.
And the sheriff holds a sale once a month, and they're running probably between 80 and 90 sheriff sales a month.
80 and 90?
Right. And they can't really, their office, the sheriff's civil department, they can't really handle anymore. They have two people that work very diligently on these cases, plus their other duties and responsibilities. And so for them to prepare this to go to sale on their part of it after they get it from me has been quite an impact on them. That's what I'm saying. Everyone is going full circle here. So
but
then after...
but the thing that, sorry for interrupting you, but that means between 80 and 90 of our neighbors a month are losing, but for maybe redemption or some legal issue, they might be able to buy their house back, which probably is pretty unlikely after the long process. Between 80 and 90 of our neighbors here in Hancock County are, in essence, they've lost their house.
Right. A lot of times when the day of the sale, it starts at 9 o'clock, we could maybe have 7, 8, 10 that it's filed that this sale is stopped. So all of the work that's gone into that, which we're very thankful if they can stop the sale. Don't take me wrong.
No, I understand.
And,
I mean, that's good news.
So, but that alone costs $500 just to stop that sale.
I see.
And you have appraisers that are involved with these sheriff sales, these foreclosures. Many people have their hand in this, not only myself. And
sure.
So what I'm saying is going full circle, it does. If, in my opinion, and I stressed this to the newspaper and said, last year we did 1,160. We filed that many cases. Those are people. Those aren't just numbers. Those are families. Those are elderly. That's quite an impact. And if these homes are left empty, the neighborhoods then do not survive very well.
No.
The homes left empty in our wintertime, no heat in them and so on.
No.
So it's not helping our neighbor hoods to do this. It'd be better if people were able to stay in their homes and try to renegotiate.